Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, action.
I hate when you do this. I don't really know how to introduce it.
Or you
Or
just
should we say-
tell who you are, what your
Yeah.
position is in the company, maybe.
I don't really know what our position is. I'm just going to say I'm Dave. Right. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dave from Tramper. With me, I've got Frank. He's the lead designer at Tramper. And today we're going to look at some of the remote controls leading up to our newest controller, the Vest 1.
Yeah. Well, let's get straight into the topic, I
Yeah.
say.
So we're going to start at what we originally started with, the Quantum remote.
Yeah, well, Eastgate had a problem, remote controllers. So people started to use just RC equipment. So just these
So they
pistol grip gun style remote controllers. They work somehow, they're a bit bulky, do not fit very well into the pocket. So
And next, what have we got?
next was, well, obviously people started to... It's heavy machinery.
Well,
walking
you know
past.
that's going in the video, don't you?
Well, let's come back to this one.
Yeah, so these were the DIY.
Yeah, Benjamin Vetter started in 2015 to design a replacement circuit board for a nunchuck, which was the first NRF remote out there. And we used it for years and never really had a problem with it, although it was on 0 dBm, so very, very low output power. And then, there were some dedicated Eastgate controllers coming to the market. Some were better, some were not as good, and this one is, for example, the Maytag that
And
we
am I
use.
right in saying that uses the same technology that's essentially in this?
It's pretty much RC technology in there. The new Maytags that we sold in the past, they were quite reliable.
Yeah.
However, you couldn't stream real-time data to them, and reverse
limited in
was
what they can
not
do.
easy to implement, and they're a bit limited in what you can do. So obviously, we needed to design something new, and so I call that the third generation of.
So taking the best of the DIYs and improving on that, adding the screen. Because this uses the same connectivity.
It is a different NRF technology that we use in the one, so it has a lot more output power than the old ones,
Right.
the modded ones, and
What can you do with that output power?
it just stabilizes the connection.
Oh, I
So
see,
we just assure that under any circumstance we'll have a good connection to the board. So
Do you know roughly what range from the board that will still work?
we tested it out actually. In a house, so we had the board in the cellar and we went all the way upstairs,
Oh, so
like
it's
3
going
stories
through
up, and
quite a
we still
bit.
had a good connection. We still could stream the real-time
Wow.
data, which was quite amazing.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
enough. I mean, we don't need
You
200
don't need to
meters
be-
of.
No, of course not.
It's
But at least you know the connection's strong with that test.
the connection is strong enough, and it's also a relatively safe connection to the board. So it's not like somebody's interfering. It's like packages that we send, and
Yeah, okay.
they're encrypted, so we know they come from the remote, and the board will only accept packages that come from this remote, so we can pair it actually to the board, and you can have like 6,000-7,000 riders simultaneously in a group ride, and there is no chance of interference.
Wow.
So that is also something pretty unique about it. With the PPM remote, I wouldn't be so sure.
No,
in a
that you
group
get
ride.
interference.
It can happen, yeah. And one thing that our boards already have implemented is a little Bluetooth dongle. So that allows us to connect to the boards with a phone and change the settings on the boards. And we have profiles. So I have a profile for my kids. I have a profile for insane speed. I have a profile for beginners.
And am I right in saying that you should be able to switch profiles with the wand once they're set up through the VASCAP?
Yeah, that's the idea. The idea is that sometimes it's a bit inconvenient just to pull out your smartphone.
Yeah,
and,
of course, yeah. Especially if you're just handing over the board to somebody.
Dial in the settings, and sometimes you just want to have a quick look how much range is left, and how hot are my motors or vesks, and estimated range, all these kind of things, and we have a little display on the one, so the display can display all that information. So
can you switch what information is displayed on the display?
Yeah, easy. So we'll have a front screen, which
Exactly.
shows the most important things. It's speed and power consumption, reverse, cruise control.
Yeah, all the things you're going to be looking at.
Yeah, all the things you want to know while you actually ride. And then we have a second screen, and that will display the battery percentage of the board, battery of the remote.
So something you could probably look at when you take a rest or have a little break.
Yeah,
just
and
double
then
check your battery
distance
percentage.
traveled and estimated range.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty much what you want to know.
Yeah.
And we have a third screen that shows all the temperatures. And then Benjamin will implement very soon the profiles,
So,
so that we
hot swap
can
between them.
hot swap in between profiles using that remote. Yeah, so that makes things a bit more convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hardware-wise, we wanted to make something that is not as...
No, I mean, just picking this up, you can feel the weight of it. What's the housing made out of?
It's aluminium.
Aluminium
So
housing.
probably people would say it's a bad idea to design a remote made out of aluminium because it would block the signal, but in this case the bottom is made out of a glass fiber panel.
So that lets the signal through.
That
no
will let
problem.
the signal through. And it has some weight to it,
Yeah.
so it's not that flimsy.
No, no, it would take a bash and it would still be all right.
Yeah.
Whereas I've seen the Matex crumple.
Yeah, by the way, if you have a crash, they just split
Yeah,
apart.
they split
You just
apart.
need new housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's thin plastic on that one.
Yeah, they can take some impact. It's quite thick actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nice carbon fiber cover on top. So all the materials are
Top notch.
top notch, nice, not flimsy. And then we have a lanyard with the Trumpa logo printed on. I think that's a feature everyone wants. So that
Oh
you-
yeah, definitely. Especially
when you ride, you just
yeah,
you know,
drop it.
you have a jump or
Or you
ahead
even a
and
crash,
just-
even it keeps the
or-
controller with you.
yeah,
I've threw a
it's
controller
not,
on a
it's
crash
not,
before.
It's not flying through the air. What else do we have on here? Super low energy consumption. We had probably a couple of group rides where people ran out of remote battery.
Yeah, we've all experienced that with the Matex.
And then we took spare remotes with us,
Yeah.
so we just pair a new remote up to the board. But the whole group needs to stop, and it's like, and sometimes it doesn't work. And
Sometimes you got to find a place to
yeah,
charge.
and then you, it's.
So how long roughly would the AAAs that are in here last?
There are two AAAs in there, and they will last. I would say on this one, maybe for Christmas, I will have
Really?
new batteries.
Wow.
I would say half a season or so. It's just
So it's not going to be an inconvenience.
60 hours at
Yeah.
least
Wow, that's,
of constant operation.
which is a lot better than what we get from the Matex currently.
Yeah, and you can use rechargeable batteries. So if you buy just 4 rechargeable batteries, you have spare batteries, you can put them in the rucksack.
Yeah,
So
just
if you,
take away.
even if you would run out of battery, which won't happen with this remote,
Well,
you
you've
just
got. Am I right in saying you've got
swap them over. Just
a battery percentage for the remote on the screen?
yeah.
So you can always tell before a
Yeah.
ride how much juice
Yeah.
you've got in
And
there.
the energy consumption is
Easy.
just, it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
The whole design is considered that. So Benjamin and I, when we designed the thing, we wanted a remote that lasts for forever.
Yeah, yeah. And can we talk more about the customization of the remote?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we have 2 different versions here on the table already. We have one that is thumb controlled. So we can send the board flying with our thumb.
Yeah.
And we have one that is basically
on the bar.
trigger and thumb controlled. So that's how I ride. I love to use my index finger
Yeah, exactly. For the
to control my
control,
board
the throttle.
and for the throttle. I have just more feeling in it.
And then we also
And
got
I use the thumb to brake, or I can just roll it in between the fingers.
yeah, and get a lot more control
Yeah.
that way. And then we also have the pistol grip.
Yeah,
That's an accessory that'll come with the one.
An accessory.
Car. There is a shitload of mosquitoes that's just come flying over that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, we've got the pistol grip as well. Am I right in saying you'll get a selection of triggers?
Yeah.
To come with it.
We have
So
4
you-
different triggers that you can
4
attach to the
different.
wand. So
Depending on what you like and how it feels.
yeah,
You can change.
depends
those
on how
triggers.
big your fingers are and what your preferences
That's
are. You can
perfect.
just swap out the triggers. And another nice feature is we always had these remotes flying around everywhere, and sometimes you want to go for a ride and you just can't find the bloody remote.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. And this one is the wand is magnetic, so we can just basically pop the wand to a surface, and that means we can attach a bit of metal to the board, or the new monster boxes will have magnets built in, so you can just
Into
basically
the lid.
into the lid. So you just basically pop the wand to the board, and it will stay there even
Yeah.
if you carry around the board. It won't drop on the
The
floor.
magnets will be strong enough to hold it.
They're
in place.
pretty strong. They're
So,
mighty
like-
magnets, the same magnets we use in the motor.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay. So we've pretty much covered the features that it's going to launch with. What about future? What can be expected, software, firmware wise?
Yeah, the whole design of the wand is about being updatable.
Yeah. So
So,
a controller for the life of your board, basically.
It,
And-
yeah,
and beyond.
maybe even beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
So since everything is made out of nice materials, I think the housing will last for pretty much forever.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I agree.
the software is updatable. That means in future we will implement new features, and we don't want our customers to buy a new remote simply because we programmed a new feature. It's a bit like on the smartphones. There's a new operating system, and you can just update your
Yeah.
smartphone, and
so am
then
I
you will
right?
have these features. So this one has a gyro.
Yeah. So that's got like an accelerometer in there.
Yeah, it knows its position in space around all the axes, and it has an accelerometer.
Right.
So,
I see.
Yeah, there are a couple of things we can do with it. Probably we should not go into detail. One thing is gesture control. So if we would have indicators on the board in future, we can just swipe the
Oh.
remote to the left for left,
And it'll
indicator left, swipe it to the right, indicator right.
Yeah.
Or hold it up, press a button, front lights on, headlights on, and maybe hold it down, press a button.
So it
You put
unlocks even more.
you can put the lights on in the back, or crash sensor. So if you have a crash, a hard impact, it would just recognize it and would just shut off the
Shut the
board.
board
so
off, yeah.
the
So
board
there's
is
safety
not sent
aspects as
flying
well,
into
That's good.
a group of people. And but there are other things we can do with it, and maybe things we do not think about
Yeah.
today. Somebody comes up with a clever idea, so we can implement it in the software, and then you can do a firmware update, which means
So the customers will be able to update the firmware on
Yeah.
the remotes quite
Yeah.
easily. It'll be supplied with a cable.
yeah, we will. For the now, you can attach the one to a VESC,
Yeah.
and then you can use the VESC as a programmer to directly program the chip.
So you just
We might in future implement a feature where we can connect the wand to the smartphone, so we can have a firmware update over the air to the wand
via Bluetooth.
via the built-in NRF
Yeah, I see.
chip. So
That would be good.
it is an ongoing project. It is not designed to be like finished at this point, and then we design a
No.
new remote next year and we try to sell you new stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you buy this one, and we make sure that
You're
you
going to get all the updates. all
for the
new
next
stuff.
years. You will get like a lot of updates.
So they're really investing in what's to come as well as what's available.
Yeah, you could say it's an invest. I mean, I think it's reasonably well priced.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's controllers that
for
are
what it
similarly
is.
priced.
There's quite a lot of R&D in there. Everything is made out of a block of aluminium, so it's carved from a solid billet.
I think anybody who's felt this already is already impressed with
Yeah.
the weight and the quality.
And the updatability, it's I would say that is the future. That's the third generation. Maybe other companies will come up with something else. We don't know. We just wanted to offer our customers
Yeah.
something exceptional, something that is
To go with the board. Matches up to
way
it pretty
ahead
much.
of what we see today in the market.
Right. I think we've covered everything. Yeah.
Should we? Well, there's maybe one thing that our customers want to know. A lot of our boards have these dongles built in,
Yeah.
and these dongles are also designed to be updatable. So if you bought a dongle maybe in 2018, it has an old firmware on, and that doesn't support connection to the wand. So we will supply a little cable that allows you to plug that into your VESC and then drop the new firmware onto this bit, and then it will allow you to establish a connection to the VESC. And so you do not need to buy this.
Or you'll get shipped with a cable and you'll be able to update your existing Bluetooth. So pretty much wouldn't need to even take anything off the board, just the front panel, connect to the SWD port and then to the VESC.
Yeah, that's the idea. And some people have 2 or 3 boards, and that's usually they had 2 or 3 remote controllers. So there was one remote for each board. With a wand,
the pairing's really easy.
The pairing is so easy that you need one remote for all of your boards. All you do is basically you just press a button, then you have a 10-second timer.
Yeah.
And within that time frame, you just press a button, bam, and it's paired. And there's no calibration you need to do.
No, you're just ready to ride after
ready to ride.
That's perfect.
That is saving you money, because you need one remote for all of your boards, and that's enough. You could have a spare PPM remote if you want to go out with a friend. You just keep the receiver in the board, so you can just basically pair it to your old PPM.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you don't want to use your old PPM anymore.
Not if you bought one of these, no. I think you get too used to the features on this controller and won't want to go back
especially like the reverse, the cruise control.
Exactly.
I really love the cruise control. Sometimes you just want to ride down a road and you just press the button and you get a little bit lazy and it just keeps the speed. And even if you go uphill, it would just
and you can feel the brakes going downhill as well to keep you at that
it will really want to keep the constant speed. So it brakes, it accelerates, even if you go up or down a hill.
Also the screen, really. I mean, that's invaluable information.
Yeah.
That you need when you're riding speed. Especially how many kilometers you can expect to have left, how many you've done.
Yeah, some people have this fear. I think there's even a name for it. It's it's something like battery fear or something like that. It's like well, it's an electric device that will run out of power soon. Well, let's go home. And it will tell you, well, there are another 30 kilometers or 30 miles in
this screen
in the battery.
Exactly. And this screen of the readout is a lot more accurate than the
a lot more. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's as accurate as the real-time data you get displayed on the smartphone.
Right, okay, so that's perfect. So people have a real good idea and they won't be under any illusion that they've still got battery left.
Yeah.
And they actually haven't.
Another thing that is good to know for everyone living in the States is Imperial Measures. So we had a lot of customers complaining everything's in kilometers and centimeters and meters, and they just don't get or a lot of our customers don't get along with it. They want to have the speed in miles per hour.
So you'll be able to change that, will you?
Yeah, we can already change that in the VESC tool. So when you pull out your smartphone,
and this is the latest update, is it?
That's the latest update.
Yeah.
There's now an option where there's a settings option, and we can tell it use Imperial units.
Oh, right. Does that convert all the units in the VESC app to Imperial?
Yeah.
So if you were saying, so then you'd say a 9-inch tire rather than X amount millimeters.
Yeah, you can just So basically, it's Imperial units.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
what
think
it says.
people know about that yet.
And so we want the same. So we can have kilometers per hour, miles per hour. And
whatever you
estimated range in miles or kilometers.
Am I correct in saying whatever you set the VESC to, the VESC app, this will just display as a readout from the VESC?
We can still decide how we do that, if we want to do that on the one side or if we want to do it on the smartphone side. So Benjamin Vetter is still thinking about the best way how to implement it. And since we have a connection in between the wand, the phone, and the board, it's a triangular system.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, well, it's better to handle it on the wand directly, or you may want to handle it on the VESC side. So
You've got options there.
there
what
are
to do.
options,
Yeah.
and you have to make a wise decision in the very beginning. So it might be a wise decision to change the settings with your smartphone.
Yeah.
And so the VESC is basically set to Imperial, and then you get Imperial
On your remote. So
on
that's
your
cool.
remote, or we don't know that yet. We're a little bit in the process of finding out what is
Yeah.
the very best solution for each problem to solve.
But there is a number of ways to do
Yeah.
that though. So
The idea is that you can do a lot with your wand, so you do not necessarily need the smartphone.
yeah.
And so you could even maybe leave that at home, or
If you're going
leave it in the pocket or in the rucksack, and you can do most of the stuff that you need to do while you ride with the wand.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And as further updates go, you'll essentially be able to do more and more with the one.
Yeah, I think so. That
Yeah.
it will progress over time.
That's the way we're working
Yeah.
towards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's it for today.
All right. Well, that was the wand. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for pre-ordering it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of backers for the one, so we tried to have a smooth product start. They're nearly finished.
On schedule.
We're on schedule. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. Can't think of anything we left out.